Welcome to Moshiach in the News. Today we're talking about Donald Trump. I would suggest that you listen to Moshiach in the News, clip 7, as an introduction, very important introduction to today's video clip. These are the reasons, today's an outline, of why I believe very strongly that Donald Trump is part of and specifically a major part of the Moshiach process, the Messianic process. And it's based on the following elements. First of all, the dates relating to his presidency, meaning the year in which he announces his candidacy, and the dates and year and times, even particular days, associated with his inauguration, and also the dates in which he's done major announcements or major activities relating to the Jewish people. These are all very significant dates. And as we're going to see, they're really astounding how they all line up in a very accurate manner. The second thing is his age, which is significant. It is also his name. We're going to dig deeper into his name. And obviously we're going to be using a little bit the concept of gematria, numeric numbers. And there is also his family, very significant, his family. We also have his personality and his financial status. It's based on these 6 aspects, and we will look at his presidency from all these angles. They're all pointing to something very, very, very unique and something very special. And as I mentioned in the previous class, this is unrelated to whether you agree with him or you don't agree with him. But there's something that is happening in which we can tell that from above, they've placed him exactly the position where he is for the furtherance of Moshiach in the world. So let's begin today with the dates. And this itself will take a few clips in order for us to be able to, a few videos in order to be able to get to them. So first of all, the year in which he announced that that he's running for president. It was in the year 2015. I think it was sometime June or July in 2015. That year is, in the Hebrew year, it's the year 5775. The year 5775 is a very, very important year in the Messianic, in Moshiach coming to the world. And I'll just briefly, a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I got very excited about a discourse that I found from Reb Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the first Chabad Rebbe, which I study his teachings all the time. And over there, he predicts a year when Moshiach will come. It's a concept called a kates. A kates means a year that is an opportune time for the coming of Moshiach. Now, generally, we are not supposed to calculate years, but yet the greatest of the great did give certain years in which they say that is a special time for the possibility for Moshiach to come. Reb Shneur Zalman gives, in that Hasidic discourse, he builds a concept and he develops a theme in which he says Moshiach is supposed to come in the year 1843. But when you read it carefully, and you read his the entire discourse, it becomes very, very clear that he leaves 2 options. Either it's the year 1843 or the year 2015, or the Hebrew year 5775. It would be too much for these short discussions in order to be able to show that to you, but just very briefly, it's based on a verse in Exodus, in Shemos, Parshas Pekudei at the very end, where it speaks about the inauguration or the donations that were given for their tabernacle. It says a verse over there that when they're counting up all the silver that came for the donations, it says the 1,775 extra coins, silver coins, extra silver that did not go into making the sockets for the tabernacle, went in to make special hooks. So the Alter Rebbe says that this verse is alluding to the amount of time that the Jewish people are going to be in exile. 1,775 years. But he says, the question he asks is, when do you start counting those 1775 years? Initially, he says you're supposed to start counting them. It would make sense from the Hebrew year 4000, because that's when the exile was supposed to begin. But in the end, he says we should really start counting it when the temple was destroyed, which was 172 years earlier. Based on that, he lands in the year 1843 for the redemption. When I was reading it, it came clear to me that since he says that really the exile was supposed to start in the year 4000, it means he's leaving room for the possibility that those 1775 years, you start counting at the year 4000. In that case, it ends in the year 1775, which is the amount of time he says that the Jewish people are supposed to be in exile. Now, based on that calculation, I was very excited for the year 1775. It came and went, and I was disappointed. However, looking back now, I see that something amazing really happened in this world on the year 1775, because his announcement of his candidacy, as we're soon going to see, based on all the other criteria that I'm going to present in the future talks, in the future videos, the future clips, it makes a lot of sense that there is something cosmic that came about in that year, which we're still in the middle of that process, but something very, very, very big. For that, you'll tune in, Be'ezrat Hashem, for clip number 9.